Coach, don't you just hate when the client goes off plan and then we're looking at their nutrition and wondering why all the numbers aren't adding up? Well, I created a tool for one of my clients to help them with their client consistency because it's natural that they're going to go like off plan and things are going to come up where they need to swap something out. They're going to need to eat out at a restaurant, they have their kid's birthday. There's all sorts of things that can go on. And it's teaching them about how to actually swap things out and still maintain whatever kind of a calorie and macro target we have. That's the difficult part. So this should make it a lot easier. So this is a coaching tool that I built for my clients over at Get Sculpted. So we are building essentially a macro meal swap guide for the clients. Now, this isn't just a shitty PDF. This actually has a lot of functionality and we're going to go into it. So this is the coaches here at Get Sculpted. Well, the three founders, and then they also have a load of coaches underneath them then as well as the business is growing quite a bit. Now, one of the things is with their clients, they'll get a message like, hey, I'm out of chicken. What do I swap for here? Or I'm out for dinner at an Italian restaurant. What pasta should I have? Or is this thing covered in oil? Like, what do I actually do? I need to swap this for that. And all these conversations are almost like little educational moments. But what if we could give the client a resource to find that answer straight away? Because if they're going out to a restaurant and they're eating, if they're already at the restaurant, the coaches know help them, they need to be able to make that decision. So this is essentially what we're trying to do. We want to make sure that an off-plan meal doesn't mean that they're off track. We want to make sure that it's a resource that they always have on them, and it becomes like almost like a go-to part of the coaching experience inside their coaching program. They have a client journey, and they teach their clients different things at different stages, so that they're kind of equipping them with the knowledge. And this is actually going to be used at a certain time frame where their thing is to start trying to swap things out and learning about the calories and the macros. And this tool is now going to help them do that. So this is essentially what we built. Now, one of the things that I was adamant about, and they were too, was we had to make sure that this database was really good because you know yourself, if you go to AI right now and say, hey, how many calories in an egg or how many grams of protein in an egg, it will get stuff wrong and it will start hallucinating. And that's the last thing that we want is their clients to be saying, yeah, well, I asked ChatGPT, what could I have instead? And it told me I could have this. And then we realized I gave them completely inaccurate values. So to fix that, instead of using AI, we actually used a database that was pre-written into the app. So we got 304 foods and it's extracted from the USDA, and yeah, it basically makes sure that's super accurate. So we have a load of food in there. We have the USDA backed macros and default portions already set up. So it's not like what is 100 grams of egg or 100 grams of egg yolk. It's portions already done. Then we have the actual macros food swap itself. So the way that it works is the client would search anything, for example, chicken. And we need to know, right, well, if we're going to have a chicken and we need to swap it for something else, what is going to be the closest thing that is within the same food group of foods that they actually enjoy and is the closest in the calories and the macros? So that's essentially what it is. You type it in, it instantly starts filtering, and then you'll be able to see the closest matches. So we have the chicken here, the turkey breast is the closest match, and then it goes down from the closest match. You see the little 93% match here, 88%, and it gets further away. So it will show like the closest eight. We'll be able to see with the calories and macros, like what it's above, what it's below. So this is actually 12 more calories, but it's got more protein. And then from here, around the same, around the same. And then you'll be able to see from food to food what's actually going on. Then we have the filter for what they actually eat. So if you are, let's say, gluten free or dairy free or vegetarian or vegan, you can filter by that. You can also use the tabs there to filter, like, right, just show me all the protein sources, show me the carb sources, show me the fat sources, and then filter them one by one. Now, what we can do is if you want to, let's say, filter just carbohydrates, it will then give you a list of all the carbohydrates that we have. So you could use these little tabs. But then let's say if you're like, oh, actually, I have this, what could I have instead of that? You could click on that. And what's important is it's not just giving you the values per 100 grams. Because if someone said, oh, yeah, we'll swap rice for bread, you're like, oh, bread was actually way less carbohydrates. And then you look at it, all right, it was actually the portion that they were using. So you'll actually put it to likely portions that they're having and then display it in like, all right, this is a 60-gram portion versus 100 gram, and you'll be able to see that. Now, how fast can the client actually use this? Because that's the thing. Well, Their clients, they just get one link. They can save that to their phone. They download it to the home screen of their phone. They don't need to download any other app or get into the app store or anything like that. They literally click the button, type the food, and then it's there instantly. So I don't know, we'll just say like 3, 4 seconds to get it working and like actually use it. And yeah, it solves that problem then of like the macros are always there in front of them. There's no excuse of, oh, I didn't know what to have instead of this. You could literally type it in, it'll take 3 seconds. And then even when there's no coach there, we're still closing the loop between them having an issue of knowing, right, well, we need to consume protein at this meal. We're not going to have the chicken. What are we going to have? We have all those options there. And then like after like 50 swaps, like that tool is like backup resource. They're going to learn that knowledge about the macros and the nutrition. So then they won't actually need to use that tool as much anymore. And again, it's going to educate them, get them more consistent and better results across the board. So before it was like, oh, I don't have chicken. What do I do? It's like, right, no chicken. Turkey's basically the same amount of protein. Cool. Let's go with that. Oh, it's is sweet potato a carb? Cool. Education sorted. It makes it so much easier for you as the coach when you have these tools in place. And then if you want, you could go like build out this more. You could add in more features and everything. But I think really we're trying to solve for stuff like this, where it's like, right, 7 p.m. in the kitchen, there's no chicken. What are we going to eat? Or if we're out at a restaurant, what should we have? Or we're traveling and we're away from home, what should we have there? If we can solve for those three, that's majority of the kind of nutritional situations covered. And that tool does essentially that. If you want this set up in your business where it's white labeled for you, and by the way, this is all like custom done per person. It's not just like slap a new logo on it. We have to go through a process of tweaking it and everything there. If you do want this set up for you or any other parts inside your coaching business, drop me a message with the word audit on Instagram. We'll have a chat. We'll run through every single area inside your coaching business, see what's going on with the lead gen, the lead tracking, the sales, onboarding, client delivery, all that kind of stuff. From there, I'll be able to show you what we actually do and how we can help. And if it seems like a good idea for both of us, we'll go ahead. If not, you'll still have a great idea about what you can do in your business.